An idea is like a virus, resilient, highly contagious, and even the smallest seed of an idea can grow. It can grow to define or destroy you. Hi, I'm Desh.
And I'm Dash. And for the last 6 months, we've done something a little bit out of the ordinary.
Especially in a global pandemic.
We've been travelling. Before COVID brought the world to a grinding halt, we used to travel for a living.
As long-haul flight attendants,
we've been to some truly incredible places around the world.
From the 14th century, the Great Wall of China, all the way up there. That part's all been restored. It's just amazing. This one is off the bucket list by far.
It wouldn't be unusual for us to hike up to the Hollywood sign in LA one day
and do a safari in South Africa the next.
Imagine living out your dreams and getting paid for it.
That was our life.
This is just out of the movies. Like, you could shoot a Hollywood Christmas movie right here in Whistler. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm very, oh my god, I'm so glad to be here.
At least until COVID-19.
We were forced to swap our suitcases
for actual closets and constant jet lag.
I'm a little too tired to vlog right now, but I promise I'll get to it as soon as I've had a 6 to 8 hour nap. How do I shut off this light?
For a consistent 8-hour sleep every night.
Being grounded didn't come easy.
The love for travel is in our blood, and we weren't done exploring yet.
Luckily, we had an ace up our sleeves. Welcome to our home.
We live in a van. How did we end up here?
Let me take you back, way back. It was about 2016 when I first learnt about tiny homes. They used to call them 10K homes at the time. The idea was that you could build yourself a small, sustainable, off-grid home for $10,000 or less. I'm from Auckland, in New Zealand, where the average house price in 2020 was just over $1 million. It didn't take me long to fall in love with the idea of tiny homes. Fast forward to 2019 and I'm a long-haul flight attendant. What would you do if you had a day to spend in Narita, Japan? Let's go find out. I spend more time overseas than I do at home and I'm still paying the same amount in rent. That didn't sit right with me. So I told myself, when I move out of this house, it'll be into a tiny house of my own. And then I got evicted. 30 days to find a new place to live. I'm a flight attendant. I'll only be home for about 7 of those days. 7 days to find a new place to live? I told myself it was now or never. It's now or never. I did the math, so I knew my tiny home had to be on wheels, which meant I had just over $5,000 to spend on a bus, a truck, or a van. I was running out of time, and with 2 days left on my eviction notice, I compromised and bought the van that ticked most of the boxes. A 22-year-old passenger van, which had spent most of its life shuttling prisoners back and forth for the Department of Corrections.
Here it is. It's not pretty. This is the base that we're going to be working with. Toyota Hiace 1997.
Since I didn't have a lot of time to convert the van into a tiny home, I did what I could. I got rid of the seats, gave it a deep clean, and installed an insulated floor ready to be built on. I call this phase Van Life 1.0. It was super simple, more or less a campervan vibe, but it did the job. When I think back to Van Life 1.0, the thing that stands out most for me is how difficult it was. Going from living in a house to living in a haphazardly converted camper van was a shock to the system. I wasn't even remotely prepared for the challenges of van life, and for the first few months, I really struggled. I had almost reached the point where I wanted to sell the van and find a flat to live in. And then Tash came into the picture.
Hi! We had been on a few trips together overseas, and we got to talking about some of the places that we could visit in New Zealand.
The next day, I drive to Tash's house, and as I wait outside, I am overcome with anxiety. She has never seen the van, and I have no idea how she's going to react. She gets to the van, pops her head in the door, and says,
This isn't a bad setup.
She jumps into the front seat, and I immediately launch into a briefing. I know this is out of the ordinary. We don't have to stay in the van. We can always get an Airbnb, and if it gets too much, I'm happy to drive you back home.
I think you underestimate me.
We went away for 4 days and loved every minute of it.
From then on, it became something that we did all the time. Whenever we were in the country together, we would get in the van and drive to a new place.
All of a sudden, van life became fun.
We would often talk about what it would be like if we had the chance to do a proper conversion.
All the changes we would make if we ever got the time.
And then, New Zealand went into a nationwide lockdown.
We're at Tasha's place now. We've got a fridge, we've got some tools, and we've got groceries. We're gonna head somewhere and isolate. This part of the vlog I'm gonna call Doomsday Preppers.
Amazing!
Is it all the clothes you're gonna need? Okay, love that.
We had all the time in the world to start van life conversion 2.0.
The van is my home, and it has been for about 8 months or so. But with the whole country going into lockdown, I figured it'd be a good time to give it some much needed renovation.
With a few borrowed tools and all the wood that we could get our hands on, we did just that.
We stripped everything out of the van and only left the floor.
Then we built everything from the ground up.
I even thought I could vlog the van build.
End of day one, and here's the progress. That should give us enough structure to build what we're going to build up here. We have a very limited supply of wood, so everything we cut up, it had to be measured, remeasured, thought about, planned strategically. Progress, day 2, lots of cutting, lots of fun. I'm excited. It's been a good day. Finished off that bit, that's our little cabinet, then we did this. It's been one of those kind of builds where we've had to really think about everything, because everything we do, every decision we make kind of affects the next. End of day 4. Today we just, that structure, all of that, all of those pocket holes. We're getting really good with our pocket holes too. I'll see if I can find the, so we're in lockdown and all the shops are closed. So what Tash and I did, we spent one whole afternoon making this, and this has been great. Like every single hole we've made has been with this yummy little jig. It's been amazing. Very happy, very, very happy with that jig. Day 5, finished this off, bolted everything to the ground. That's our main structure. Underneath, we're going to be climbing over this part a lot, so we strengthened it. There was a lot of anxiety for me to cut this piece nicely. We did the tabletop. The tabletop is done. Well, not done, but it's into place and we can build around it. Messy van, but check it out. This was just that was a big part of the day. Little hatch so we can climb in and out to the driver's seat. And then shelf, 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 shelf. We got it planned out. Day 7, done and dusted. We have finished these shelves. They're not just sitting there, they're bolted in. That's really nice, that one there. Also super solid. Back piece into the back wall. That's it, day 7, done and dusted. Week 1, done. That's how long that lasted. We worked every day and picked apart every idea to come up with a design that worked ergonomically for us and our lifestyle. As the build went on, we honed in our skills and took on more intricate projects.
From the kitchen bench, the cupboards, the bed frame, the side storage, and everything else was brainstormed, planned and built exactly how we wanted. All of a sudden the 4-week lockdown was over and the van wasn't built.
So we went and got more supplies and kept on building.
We did this every day for 5 months. Until one day,
our tiny home on wheels
was fully built. complete with
a green herb garden,
lots of over-counter storage to hold all of our things in place while we drive,
an enormous spice rack,
a knife block complete with cheese knives,
salt and pepper grinders.
a wine bottle repurposed for oil,
This one's a Tash design.
a paper towel holder, and this is a dish design.
It's a custom built tap made from every bit of plumbing material that we could find. The showpiece on top of our counter
A wok that we turned into a sink.
with 40 litres of fresh water, plumbing and an electric water pump. We have running water whenever we want in the van.
Our kettle that matches the sink.
And this is how we store our tables, which sits up
Over our super comfy bed.
and over the kitchen to give us more counter space. Blackout curtains,
A 5 kilowatt diesel heater.
a shoe rack,
Bottle holder.
a bedside cubby hole for all our electronics with a USB port and wireless chargers.
LED strip lights.
If you're gonna do a van build, we would highly discourage the use of LED strip lights.
But look how pretty they are.
Oh, they came out gorgeous, but they were a handful. This was one of the first things we decided to put into the van when we were talking about doing van life 2.0.
Because we had the bed that we wanted to be put out the whole time, it means getting the storage underneath can be pretty tricky. So we came up with the idea of having pull-out drawers out the back. Put some lids on them, and now they double as a bench top or chairs.
Speaking of under-bed storage that is hard to get to, we couldn't have drawers inside the van, so we built crates.
Custom built to all the sizes of the nooks and crannies so that we could squeeze as many as we can in.
We've currently got 4. And the crates tend to move around, so we've got a hatch in front of it to make sure they don't come sliding out every time we hit the brakes.
The joys of your home being on wheels.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. We also put in lots of overhead storage for just the tiny knickknacks that usually go missing in a van.
Your keys, sunglasses, that sort of thing. Also, we've got a cubby hole above our bed for our laptops, iPads, and any other devices that we've got.
As far as electronics go, we have a 200 watt solar panel above the roof with a 500 watt inverter inside, which gives us enough power for all our devices.
In order to get self-contained certified, you need a bin with a lid, and we thought we'd put our own little spin on it. Here's what it looks like.
I always wanted a deck on the roof, and when we put the roof rack on, it gave us enough real estate to pop a pubit supply on, and then we had our very own rooftop deck, which we have used many a times.
No home is complete without a fridge.
In the front, there were 3 seats, and we took out the middle seat and popped our fridge right there in the middle.
Worth it.
Completely worth it.
If you're gonna make anything to make your van life experience easier, running water and a fridge.
And charging for all your devices.
One of the joys about van life is that you're not always parked on a perfectly flat, level surface, which means we had to build something into the van that was going to come in very handy.
So we built about 6 different cup holders into the van. 2 by our beds, 2 on our tables, and 2 up the front. Some of the things that go unnoticed, the seat covers, you sewed them on.
I did.
They look so much better than what we saw at the start of the vlog. The bed, this bed is so comfy. It's so good. We got a few foam mattresses and cut it down to size. In our tiny home on wheels,
Everything has a place, and every place has a purpose.
this is more than just a tiny home on wheels. This is proof of concept. This is the culmination of our creativity, teamwork, patience, and problem-solving skills.
This is the result of 2 people falling in love at the right time.
This is the physical proof that when an idea meets passion, there isn't much in the world that can stop it.
Like they say in the movie Inception, an idea is like a virus, resilient, highly contagious, and even the smallest seed of an idea can grow. It can grow to define or destroy you.
I'm Dish,
And I'm Tash.
and this is the Whitehouse, our tiny home on wheels that has taken us all over the country.
From adventure to adventure.
And we're not done yet.
We love travel and will continue to do so for as long as we can.
If you'd like to come along on the journey, be sure to subscribe to this channel and give the video a thumbs up.
We release new vlogs from our travels every Monday.
We couldn't end this vlog without saying a massive thank you to the people who made this dream of ours possible. Dhiren and Sashi Prasad, Priya and Ritesh Nair, and Mark and Tony Hawkey.
You gave us a place to stay, tools to use, and food to eat while we built this beautiful home of ours.
Without you, the Whitehouse wouldn't have been possible.
We're truly grateful to have such loving and supportive people in our lives.
We appreciate you.
On that note, there's only 2 more things to say.
Thank you for watching.
And we'll see you on the next one.